Lisa woke up in a strange room with glowing blue walls. She blinked several times trying to remember how she got here. The last thing she remembered was hiking in the forest near her cabin. Then a bright light appeared above her. She sat up on the soft bed and noticed her hiking clothes were gone. Instead, she wore a silky white gown that felt smoother than anything on earth. Lisa stood up carefully and walked to what looked like a window. The view outside made her gasp stars. She could see stars everywhere, not like looking up at night, but as if she was among them. A planet with swirling purple clouds moved slowly in the distance. The door to her room slid open with a soft hiss. A tall figure entered. Lisa backed away. Her heart raced as she saw the alien woman clearly for the first time. The alien had blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the light. Her eyes were large and completely silver without pupils. Her face looked almost human except for the small ridges along her cheekbones. Her long hair floated around her head as if underwater, though it was dry and a deep purple color. The alien smiled, revealing teeth that looked normal except for their perfect whiteness. She spoke in perfect English. "My name is Kira. I apologize for bringing you here so suddenly, but time was limited." Lisa found her voice. "Where am I?" "You are on the royal vessel of the Zintari Empire heading to my homeworld," Kira said, moving closer. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, making Lisa feel small. "I know. This must be frightening for you, but please understand this was necessary." "Necessary for what?" Lisa asked. Trying to keep her voice steady, Kira took a deep breath. "Our families have chosen us to be married." Human Lisa stared at the alien woman. "What? That makes no sense." "My family would never." Kira raised her hand. "It was arranged many generations ago. Your ancestors saved the life of our queen. During the Great War with the Draxians, a blood oath was made that when the stars aligned in the pattern of destiny, our families would join. This happens once every 300 years. This is crazy." Lisa said, "I need to go home. I have a job. I have friends." Kira looked genuinely sad. "I understand your confusion. But on my world, this bond is sacred to break. It would cause war between our planets. Your world would not survive such a conflict." Lisa felt dizzy. She sat back on the bed. How could this be happening? The alien woman. Kira sat beside her, keeping a respectful distance. "I was not happy either when I learned of this arrangement." Kira admitted, "I am a scientist, not a diplomat. I have my own research, my own life. But our families made this pact, and we must honor it." "What exactly does this marriage involve?" Lisa asked. Kira smiled a little. "We will live together for 1 Earth year on my planet, then 1 year on yours. After that, we can choose to stay together or part ways with the bond considered fulfilled. No war. No dishonor." Lisa looked at the alien woman more carefully. She was beautiful in a strange way, and there was kindness in those silver eyes. "Why me, though?" Lisa asked. "There must be millions of descendants from whoever made this pact. Your DNA is the closest match." Kira explained. "You carry the strongest connection to your ancestor, and you were alone in the forest where we could bring you aboard without witnesses." Lisa thought for a moment. "So I spend 2 years with you, and then I can go back to my normal life." "Essentially, yes." Kira nodded. "But I hope it will not be merely an obligation. We can learn from each other. I have studied Earth for many years. Your cultures fascinate me." Lisa stood up and walked to the window again. The stars seemed endless out there, a whole universe she never knew existed until today. "How advanced is your civilization?" she asked. Kira joined her by the window. "We mastered interstellar travel 10,000 years ago. We have eliminated disease, hunger, and most forms of suffering. Our lifespans average 500 Earth years." 500 years, Lisa whispered. "That means I am young for my people," Kira said. "Only 73. Lisa laughed despite herself. She was 29. This alien woman looked so young, yet was over twice her age. "What happens now?" Lisa asked. "We continue our journey to Zintara, my homeworld." Kira explained. "It will take 3 more days. Then the joining ceremony will begin. The celebration lasts a week. A week? Lisa asked. Kira nodded. Our people love celebrations. For the first time, Lisa felt a small sense of curiosity rather than fear. What is your planet like? Beautiful, Kira said with pride. Our cities float above the ground to preserve the natural landscape. Our oceans are deep purple and filled with creatures that glow at night. Our skies have two suns, a blue one and a red one. When they set together, the sky turns colors you have no words for in your language. It sounds amazing. Lisa admitted. Kira touched Lisa's hand gently. Her skin was warm. I know this is not what you planned for your life, but perhaps it can be an adventure instead of a burden. Lisa didn't pull her hand away. How many humans have visited your world? You would be the first, Kira said. Her eyes seemed to shine with excitement. My people know of Earth, but we have respected your development. By keeping our distance, this arrangement is unique. The first human. Lisa thought a pioneer. An explorer in a way. What if I said no? Lisa asked. What if I refused? Kira's face grew serious. The consequences would be severe. Not just war, but according to our laws, I would be executed for failing my duty. Executed, Lisa gasped. That's horrible, Kira shrugged. Our ways seem harsh to outsiders, but they have kept peace for thousands of years. Lisa felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She had always been ordinary. A small-town girl with a simple life. Now suddenly she held the fate of two worlds in her hands. I need time to think, Lisa said. Of course, Kira stood up. You have until we reach Zintara. I will have food brought to you. Rest now, we can talk more later. Kira moved toward the door, then turned. I truly hope you will see this as I do. A chance for something extraordinary after. Kira left. Lisa sat alone staring at the stars. She thought of her small cabin in the woods, her job at the local library, her quiet life. How could she compare that to traveling among the stars, seeing things no human had ever seen? Before, Lisa spent hours looking out the window watching distant planets and stars. She wondered if anyone on Earth had noticed she was missing. Her parents had died years ago. She had few close friends. Her boss at the library might wonder where she was, but would probably just hire someone else. A soft tone sounded and a panel in the wall slid open, revealing a tray of food. Lisa approached cautiously. The food looked strange. Glowing fruits, bright blue bread, and something that resembled meat, but was purple. She sniffed it. Nothing smelled bad, just different. She tried the bread first. It tasted sweet and melted in her mouth. The fruit burst with flavor, like nothing she had ever tasted before. Even the strange meat was delicious, tender and spicy as she ate. Lisa noticed a small device on the tray. It looked like a tablet. She touched it and it lit up, showing images of Zintara. Lisa realized Kira had sent her information about the planet she was heading to. Lisa spent hours reading about Zintari culture. They were an ancient race who valued knowledge and harmony above all. They had not fought a war among themselves in 5,000 years. Their technology was so advanced it seemed like magic to human eyes. The more Lisa learned, the more her fear turned to wonder. This was a chance no human had ever had before. To be the first to visit an alien world, to learn about their culture. Firsthand, Lisa slept, eventually dreaming of floating cities and purple oceans. When she woke, Kira was sitting in a chair nearby watching her. How long have you been there? Lisa asked. Sitting up, not long, Kira said. Did you sleep? Well, Lisa nodded. The bed was strangely comfortable, seeming to adjust to her body perfectly. I read about your world, Lisa said. It seems amazing. Kira smiled. I hoped you would find it interesting. Did you have questions? Lisa had dozens of questions, and Kira answered each one patiently. She explained how Zintari society worked, how their government functioned, how their science had evolved. The Zintari lived in harmony with their environment. Kira explained their cities floated to avoid disturbing the land below. They harvested energy from their twin suns and from deep within their planet. They wasted nothing. Do you have families like we do? Lisa asked. We have family units. Yes, Kira said. Mine is quite large. My mother is a high scientist in the royal court. My father designs ships. My 3 siblings work in various fields. My youngest sister would like to meet you. She studies Earth languages. You speak English perfectly. Lisa noted, I learned it specifically for you. Kira admitted, our computers analyzed your brain patterns while you slept on the first night. The language centers were mapped, and I downloaded the information. Lisa blinked. You can do that? Kira nodded. It is simple technology for us. That's a bit creepy, Lisa said. Kira looked concerned. I apologize. We have different ideas about privacy. My people share thoughts quite openly. What you consider private, we consider natural to share. Lisa considered this. It was just one of many cultural differences she would need to get used to. The ship continued its journey towards Zintara. Each day, Kira would visit and they would talk. Lisa learned more about the alien woman. She was a scientist who studied biological systems. She had traveled to 17 different planets. She had never married before the arrangement with Lisa. By the 3rd day, Lisa had made her decision. I will go through with this, she told Kira. Not just to prevent war, but because I want to see your world. I want to learn everything about it. Kira's smile was radiant. Thank you. She took Lisa's hands in hers. You will not regret this, I promise. As the ship approached Zintara, Lisa stood at the window, breathless. The planet was mostly blue and purple with swirling white clouds. Floating cities glittered like jewels scattered across the surface. Is it what you expected? Kira asked. Standing beside her, Lisa shook her head. It's better. The royal vessel descended toward the largest floating city. Gold spires reached up from a circular platform that hovered thousands of feet above a lush forest below. Smaller buildings spread out from the center, creating a pattern like a snowflake haze. They prepared to land. Kira brought Lisa new clothes. These are traditional for a joining ceremony, she explained. The material adjusts to your emotions, showing them through color. The fabric felt alive in Lisa's hands. It shifted from blue to purple, to green as she touched it. The dress itself was beautiful, flowing, and elegant. Crowds waited for them. Aliens with blue and purple skin watched as Lisa walked beside Kira down the ramp from the ship. Some looked curious, others suspicious. A few seemed angry. Who are the angry ones? Lisa whispered to Kira. Those who believe we should remain separate from other worlds. Kira whispered back. Do not worry. They are few, and the Queen supports our joining. The Queen? Lisa asked suddenly, nervous. Yes, Kira said. My aunt, your Aunt Lisa, stopped walking. Your aunt is the Queen. Kira looked embarrassed. Did I forget to mention that I am of royal blood? You're a princess, Lisa, gasped Kira. Made a sound like gentle bells ringing. Her laugh, Lisa realized. Yes, in your terms. I would be considered a princess, though we do not use that word. Our term means descendant of the ruling line. Lisa felt suddenly underdressed and overwhelmed. I can't meet a queen. You already have, Kira said, smiling. The woman who served your food yesterday, that was my aunt. She wanted to see you without ceremony, to judge your character. The Queen brought me food. Lisa felt faint. Kira nodded. She was impressed. She said you thanked her even though you did not know who she was, that you showed respect to someone you thought was a servant. That speaks well of your heart. Lisa remembered the older blue-skinned woman who had brought her meal. She had seemed elegant, but Lisa had assumed she was a staff member. The palace was enormous. Hallways stretched in impossible directions. Some corridors seemed to defy gravity, running upside down or along walls. Yet Kira and others in Tari walked these paths with ease. How are they doing that? Lisa asked, pointing to people walking on the ceiling. Gravity manipulation. Kira explained, touching a small device on her wrist. This allows us to adjust our personal relationship to gravity. Would you like to try? Before Lisa could answer, Kira touched her wrist, and suddenly Lisa felt lighter. She took a step and floated several feet forward. Careful. Kira said, catching her. You need practice. Let me help you, with Kira's guidance. Lisa learned to control her movements in the adjusted gravity. It was like swimming through air. At first she tumbled and spun, but soon she was moving alongside Kira down corridors that twisted and turned in ways that should have been impossible. Lisa's room in the palace was large and beautiful. One wall was completely transparent, showing a view of the city and the forest beyond. The furniture seemed to grow from the floor itself, organic and flowing. The joining ceremony began that evening. Lisa wore the gown made of the material that changed colors with her emotions. Currently, a nervous blue Kira wore ceremonial armor that highlighted her height and strength. They stood before the Zintari queen, an ancient being whose skin had faded to pale lavender. With age, she spoke in the musical Zintari language and Kira translated. Two worlds join today through you. Two families honor an ancient promise. May peace continue between our kinds. For all time. Lisa repeated the words she had been taught in the Zintari language. Though she stumbled over some sounds, the crowd seemed pleased by her effort. That night, a feast unlike anything Lisa had ever seen spread across the grand hall. Foods in impossible colors. Music played on instruments that floated in the air by themselves. Dancers moved in ways that defied gravity. Kira stayed by Lisa's side, explaining everything, answering her endless questions. Lisa found herself laughing more than she expected. Later, as they watched the twin suns set from the balcony of their shared quarters, Kira spoke softly. I know this is not the life you chose, but I promise to make it worth your while. I will show you wonders beyond imagination. And when our time together ends, if you wish to return to Earth, I will take you there myself. Lisa looked at the alien woman who was now her wife by the laws of this strange world. She thought about the ordinary life she had left behind, and the extraordinary one that now stretched before her. I think, Lisa said, watching, as the sky turned colors she had never seen before. This might be the best thing that ever happened to me. Kira smiled, and for the first time reached out to touch Lisa's face gently. Welcome to your new life among the stars. The days that followed were filled with wonders. Kira showed Lisa the floating gardens where plants from across the galaxy grew together in harmony. Some bloomed with flowers that sang softly in the breeze. Others produced fruits that changed flavor with each bite. Lisa met Kira's family. Her mother, Alara, was serious but kind. Her father, Zoran, had a booming laugh and loved to tell stories of other worlds. Kira's siblings were curious about Earth, bombarding Lisa with questions about human customs and culture. Kira's youngest sister, Mina, was especially interested in Lisa. She spoke several Earth languages and wanted to learn more about human expressions and slang. You say, break a leg for good luck, Mina said with fascination. Why would injury bring fortune? Lisa tried to explain idioms, but often found herself laughing at how strange human expressions sounded when examined by an alien perspective. Each day brought new discoveries. Lisa learned that the Zintari could communicate telepathically with each other, though they could not read Lisa's mind without permission. She learned that their technology was partly biological, growing and adapting, rather than being built. Kira began teaching Lisa the Zintari language. It was complex with sounds that human vocal cords struggled to produce, but Lisa was determined to learn. At night they would sit together on the balcony watching the twin suns set. Kira would point out constellations and tell stories of the beings who lived on distant worlds. Lisa would share tales from Earth myths and legends that Kira found fascinating. They slept in separate rooms connected by a common area, respecting each other's need for privacy. Though married by Zintari law, they were still strangers in many ways, learning about each other day by day. One morning, Kira came to Lisa with excitement in her silver eyes. I have something to show you, she said. Get dressed for an adventure. Lisa followed Kira to a small ship docked at the palace. My personal vessel, Kira explained. As they boarded, Lisa noticed it was smaller than the royal ship that had brought her to Zintara, but still impressive with sleek lines and glowing blue engines. Where are we going? Lisa asked as they took off, soaring away from the floating city. Kira's eyes sparkled to see the wonders of my world. The small ship flew over vast forests of trees with purple leaves and trunks that twisted in spiral patterns. They passed mountains that floated above the ground, held aloft by some strange force fields. Kira explained it was natural to the planet, not technology. They landed beside a glowing purple ocean. The water sparkled with tiny lights that Kira said were microscopic creatures that fed on sunlight. The beach had sand that changed color as they walked on it, shifting from gold to silver to blue with each step. "This is one of my favorite places," Kira said as they walked along the shore. "The creatures in this ocean evolve differently than anywhere else on Zintara. They communicate through light rather than sound, as if on cue, something large breached the surface of the water. A creature like a whale but with translucent skin that glowed with patterns of light. It sang not with sound, but with pulses of color that rippled across its body. It's beautiful," Lisa whispered. The creature turned toward them as if it heard, then dove back beneath the waves. "Can they sense us?" Lisa asked. "They sense emotions." Kira explained. "They are drawn to joy and curiosity. They hide from fear and anger." They spent the day exploring the beach, collecting strange shells that hummed soft melodies when held to the ear, eating fruits from trees that bent down to offer their bounty. As evening approached, Kira led Lisa to a small structure that seemed to grow from the sand itself. "It's a shelter," she explained. "We will stay here tonight." Inside the shelter was a single room with walls that glowed softly, providing light. It was simple but comfortable, with beds that grew from the floor like everything on this world. After they ate dinner, they sat outside watching. The twin suns set over the ocean. The sky exploded with colors, oranges and purples, reds and blues, all swirling together in patterns that took Lisa's breath away. When darkness fell, the ocean came alive with light. Creatures beneath the surface created displays that rivaled the most elaborate fireworks on Earth. Lights danced and swirled, patterns formed and dissolved. Waves of color rolled across the water. "It's like they're celebrating," Lisa said, watching the display in wonder. "Perhaps they are," Kira said. "They may be welcoming you." The first human to see their light show. Lisa turned to look at the alien woman beside her. In the glow from the ocean, Kira's blue skin shimmered. Her silver eyes reflected the dancing lights. She was truly beautiful, in an otherworldly way. Something changed between them that night. As they sat watching the ocean's light show, Lisa felt herself drawing closer to Kira, not just physically but emotionally. She was no longer just an alien who had disrupted her life, but a person complex and fascinating. The next day they flew to a different part of Zintara, this time to mountains that reached so high they disappeared into the clouds. The air was thin, but Kira gave Lisa a small device to wear on her wrist that helped her breathe. "The mountains here are alive," Kira explained. "They move very slowly, growing and shifting over centuries. The Zintari believe they are ancient beings that watch over our world." As if to demonstrate, a distant peak seemed to shift slightly, rocks sliding into a new formation. "Do they communicate?" Lisa asked. "With each other?" "Yes," Kira said, "but not with us. Their consciousness operates on a different timeline. To them, our lives pass in an instant. They spent a week traveling. Zintara visiting, crystal caves where gems sang in harmony when touched, forests, where the trees danced slowly in patterns, underground cities, where Zintari lived in harmony with the planet's core, using its heat for energy. Lisa saw creatures she could never have, imagined plants that walked on root legs, moving from place to place to find sunbirds with 4 wings that could hover motionless for days, fish that lived both in water and air, swimming through both elements with equal ease. With each new wonder, Lisa found herself falling more in love with this alien world, and perhaps with her alien wife as well, though neither of them spoke of it. Lisa felt the bond between them growing stronger. Each night they talked for hours, sharing thoughts and dreams. Sometimes their hands would touch briefly, and neither would pull away. After 2 weeks of travel, they returned to the palace. Kira had duties to attend to as a royal, and Lisa was invited to learn more about Zintari culture and history. The royal library was enormous, with books and data crystals containing knowledge gathered over thousands of years. Lisa was given a translator device that allowed her to read any text she chose. She spent days learning about Zintari history, their evolution, their philosophy, She learned about the ancient war with the Draxians. The conflict had nearly destroyed both civilizations until Lisa's ancestor, a human explorer who had somehow found his way to this part of the galaxy, intervened. He negotiated peace between the warring races, sacrificing his chance to return to Earth in the process. Now Lisa understood why the pact was so important. The peace had lasted for centuries based on that human sacrifice. Her presence here was honoring that legacy. One evening, as Lisa sat reading in the library, a shadow fell across her book. She looked up to see a tall Zintari male with dark blue skin and cold silver eyes. "So this is the human who thinks she belongs among us," he said, his voice hard. Lisa recognized him from the welcoming ceremony. He had been one of the ones who looked angry. "I am here to honor the pact between our people," Lisa said, trying to keep her voice steady. The Zintari laughed. Though it contained no humor, the pact was a mistake. Our blood should not mix with lesser species. Lisa felt anger rise within her. But before she could respond, another voice cut through the tension. "Ambassador Vorax." Kira's voice was cold as she stepped into view. "You forget yourself." The ambassador bowed stiffly, but his eyes remained defiant. "Princess Kira, I merely express concerns shared by many, concerns that have been addressed by the Queen herself," Kira said. Her tone left no room for argument. "The pact will be honored. The human will be respected." Vorax bowed again, deeper this time. "As you wish, Princess." He turned and left, but not before giving Lisa one last cold look. Kira turned to Lisa. "I apologize for his behavior. Not all Zintari welcome change." "It's all right," Lisa said. "I understand fear of the unknown." Kira smiled. "That is why you were chosen. Your ancestor had the same wisdom, the same ability to see beyond differences." As days turned to weeks, Lisa found herself thinking less and less about Earth. Her old life seemed distant, like a dream half remembered. She had been given a role in the palace as a cultural ambassador, teaching Zintari about human customs, while learning their ways in return. She grew close to Kira's family, especially Mina, who followed her everywhere, peppering her with questions about Earth. The young Zintari was fascinated by human music and art. Lisa taught her Earth songs, and in return, Mina showed her how Zintari music was created using light and motion, as well as sound. Lisa's dress now rarely showed the blue of nervousness or the red of anger. More often it glowed with the gold of happiness or the deep purple of contentment. She had adapted to Zintari gravity control, moving through the twisted corridors of the palace with ease. She could speak basic Zintari phrases and understood much more. And then there was Kira. Their relationship had grown from reluctant arrangement to genuine friendship. They spent evenings together talking about their worlds, sharing meals, exploring the city. Sometimes their hands would touch and linger. Occasionally, Kira would brush Lisa's hair back from her face with gentle fingers. Neither spoke of these moments, but both felt the change. 3 months after her arrival on Zintar, Lisa was invited to attend a royal council meeting. Kira explained it was a great honor rarely extended to outsiders. The council chamber was circular, with seats rising in tiers around a central platform. The queen sat on a simple throne on the highest tier. Kira led Lisa to seats near the queen, a sign of their status. The meeting began with reports from various regions of the planet. Then an ambassador rose to speak. "Your Majesty, the Draxians have increased their fleet near the neutral zone. They claim it is for defense, but our sensors detect weapons being charged." Lisa felt tension fill the room. The Draxians, the race that had nearly destroyed the Zintari, the race her ancestor had negotiated peace with. The queen turned to her advisors. "What do you suggest?" "Let us increase our patrols," said one. "Send a clear message that we are watching." "No," said another. "That will only escalate tensions." "We should open diplomatic channels." The debate continued, voices growing louder. Lisa listened carefully, learning about the complex relationship between the Zintari and their ancient enemies. Then Ambassador Vorax rose to speak. The same Zintari who had confronted her in the library. "Your Majesty," he said, The Draxians understand only strength. We must show them our power. We should strike first at their outpost in the Raxus system. Show them the consequences of threatening Zintara. Murmurs filled the chamber. Some voices agreeing, others protesting. The Queen raised her hand for silence that would violate the peace treaty. She said, the treaty that has kept our world safe for centuries, the treaty is flawed. Vorax argued it was forced upon us by an alien who had no right to interfere in our affairs. His gaze flicked to Lisa before returning to the Queen. Kira stood. Your Majesty, if I may speak. The Queen nodded. The treaty has brought 300 years of peace, Kira said. We have all benefited from it, Zintari and Draxian alike. To break it now would dishonor those who fought to create it, including the human who gave his life for our peoples. Vorax sneered. What does a human know of honor? Their world is primitive, violent. Their people short-sighted, I know. Lisa found herself standing though she hadn't planned to speak. That peace is better than war. That understanding is better than hatred. She felt every eye in the chamber turn to her, but continued. I may be primitive by your standards, but even on Earth we know that talking is better than fighting, that finding common ground saves lives. The Queen studied her with ancient silver eyes. Go on, human. Lisa took a deep breath. My ancestor saw two proud races about to destroy each other. He didn't choose sides. He looked for common ground. He found it and built a peace that lasted centuries. I am here to honor his legacy, to remind both Zintari and Draxian that peace is possible between different peoples. She looked at Vorax. If a primitive human and an advanced Zintari can form a bond, then surely the Zintari and Draxian can maintain theirs. Silence filled the chamber. Then the Queen spoke. Your words have wisdom, human. I propose we send an envoy to the Draxians, not to threaten, but to communicate, to remind them of what we both have to lose if the peace fails. The council voted. The majority agreed with the Queen. Vorax and his supporters were outvoted. The meeting ended with plans for a diplomatic mission to Draxian space. As they left the chamber, Kira squeezed Lisa's hand. You did well, she whispered. Later in their quarters, Kira explained more about the conflict with the Draxians. The two races had nearly destroyed each other in a war over resources. Both were technologically advanced, both proud, both unwilling to compromise until my ancestor arrived. Lisa said. Yes. Kira nodded. He arrived in a primitive ship far from Earth, lost and alone. But he carried something neither of our races had. What perspective? Kira said he could see the conflict. From outside, he had no stake in it. No ancient hatred clouding his judgment. He showed both sides that they could share the resources they were fighting over, that there was enough for both. If they worked together, and they actually listened, it took time, Kira admitted, and trust had to be built. The marriage pact was part of that. Your ancestor married a Zintari princess to seal the agreement, much as we have done, to show that different species could join in harmony. Lisa looked out at the twin suns setting over Zintara. I never expected any of this, she said. When I was hiking in those woods back on Earth, I was just trying to clear my head, figure out what to do with my life. It seemed so ordinary, so small. And now, Kira asked, moving to stand beside her. Now I'm married to an alien princess living on a world with two suns helping maintain peace between ancient races. Lisa laughed. It's not exactly the life I planned. Kira's hand found hers. Do you regret it? Lisa turned to look at the blue-skinned woman beside her. In 3 months, Kira had gone from stranger to friend to something more, something Lisa was only beginning to understand. No, she said, I don't regret it. I think I was meant to be here. As strange as that sounds, Kira smiled. That does not sound strange to me at all. The stars guided you here just as they guided your ancestor. Lisa leaned closer to Kira, drawn to her warmth, her wisdom, her gentle strength. In this moment under alien stars, far from Earth, Lisa knew she had found her place in the universe. Not just as part of an ancient pact, but as herself. A human woman who had traveled among the stars and found something wonderful. Maybe my ancestor felt this way too, she whispered. Maybe that's why he stayed. Kira's silver eyes seemed to see into Lisa's soul. Maybe he did, she agreed, and maybe that is why you are here. Not just because of his blood in your veins, but because you share his spirit, his ability to see beauty in the unknown. As the last light of the twin suns faded from the sky, Lisa and Kira stood together at the edge of two worlds. Their hands intertwined, their futures connected, the human and the alien princess, bound by an ancient promise, but choosing to stay for something far more powerful. Love that crossed the stars.